Hello, welcome to the final installment of Joshko's Knives. We've come so far. Thank you. What you see me doing now is preparing to super glue scales on in a way that I'll be able to release them easily when I want to. This is not my normal way of doing things. I'm trying something different. What I'm really trying to do is create a situation where I can grind or, sculpt my handle without the Corby heads. They're intrusive. Anytime you're grinding a soft and a hard material next to each other, obviously one's going to grind easier than the other, and it can be that there's not a really smooth or seamless transition between the hard material and the soft. It can be challenging. You can be left with some weird divots or just irregularity or, high spots or whatever. So I was thinking, if I can just take those Corby bolt heads out of the equation, I'm free to sculpt. And that's what I'm doing. I'm giving it a shot. Starting on that small wheel on the inside corner and just starting to go. I'll do as much shaping as I think I need to at 36. I'll jump up to 120. And I'm really focusing on the butt end on the inside that radius. And when I think I'm there, I'll switch to my 1-inch scalped belts. And I'll go 1, 220, 320. And I'll really try to finish out that area on those belts. And once I do that, I will then jump to the front of the handle, get back on the flat platen. I'll break I shouldn't say just the front of the handle, but the rest of the handle, everything besides that rounded out part between the beak and the swell. I'll break all the corners. I'll build all the facets, and I'll do that. I'll jump back down to 36, and I'll build all my facets, and I'll take them all the way up through 300. And I round that back section out first, and then jump to facets, because I find that the facets terminate way more cleanly in the area that's already been rounded out than they do otherwise. And if I do it right and I stay off it after the fact, I don't really have to go back into that rounded out area and clean it up. And I get this really cool transition from rounded to faceted, and it feels natural. And all that stuff just kind of blends into each other. And then when I'm done on the grinders and I go to finish up by hand, it's just really natural to smooth out those transitions. So that's the game plan. And this was a bit of a revelation as well. We previously we haven't had a metal cutting bandsaw, but now that we do, using it to cut these Corby heads off was a treat. This is great, and I'm definitely going to be doing this again. It just went really easily. I got them shaved way down. I didn't wind up, running into handle material, and they didn't overheat. It was a pleasure, and shaping them in, flushing them in on the big wheel here. It wasn't but a thing, a nothing. It was not even a chicken wing on a string. It was great, and so I did it. I roughed them in. I did the whole thing. Started at 36 and went up through 320, and I left off in an awesome place where they were relatively flush. Things were blended. Yeah, a pleasure. Here's my trusty, dusty Riverside machine knife vise, which is just totally being held together with C-clamps, but it's still kicking, still doing the job. And I'm not doing too much. I find that, like I said, the longer I spend on something after it comes off the grinder, the worse it looks. I'm just, being honest. So I'm only doing 400, and I have kind of two main tools that I'm using here. One is a chisel. It just makes sense to me. One day I was looking around for a sanding stick, and I saw a chisel, and it just clicked. I was like, this thing is the right size. It's flat. It's got a handle on it. So that's what I do. I even used the rubberized handle to get into the radius. It's great. It works. And then this stiff foam is pretty nice too. And I haven't had any problem with it rounding out lines too much. It gets the flats. If I want a little, get into a swell or get around the butt or something, it works. There's enough give in there. I follow the product recommendation to heat material a little before application, and it's rewarding. The wax, it melts, it flows, pores are opened up. It just makes things easier. I also will hit it with the gun again just to smooth things out. If you've got any ridging or any patterning from your towel or your cloth or your fingers or whatever, you hit it a little bit with some more heat and things just sort of loosen up. Everything runs and flows a little, and you can get a much nicer finish. So here we are, another day later. Like at so many other points in this series or in this video, we've enacted some process which is going to take 24 hours. The setting of epoxy, the setting of wax. Just in this video alone, I think this is 3 or 4 different days work. But here we are. We're at the finish line. Waxed, everything. Well, we did the whole thing. We did it. We did the whole thing. We forged, we drilled, we ground, we epoxied, we sculpted, we waxed, we sharpened. We did it. We did everything. Yay. They look great. I can happily say they've been delivered. The client is happy. I'm happy. This little guy is a star. I love this little knife. It has a great feel and a great balance point. It's light, it's nimble, and it's beautiful. I think it shows the art. And I'm chuffed.